All right, everybody. Well, we are at the top of the hour on a Wednesday. And so you know what that means? It is Webinar Wednesday here at Montana State University. And I want to say thank you to all of you for taking some time out this evening to join us for what we hope is a pretty informative opportunity for you to hear from some of the professionals on our campus that really help roll out the red carpet for our students that are coming to visit campus. And that's what tonight is all about. It's about campus visit opportunities. For those of you who joined us on our webinar last week, you heard about everything having to do with Montana State University, our degree programs, our student life opportunities, all the way to scholarships and applying. And even though that webinar was a really nice experience to get a little better feel for Montana State University and who we are and how we might end up aligning with your educational goals, there really is nothing like visiting a campus, whether that's Montana State University or anywhere else that you're considering. And so what we wanted to spend some time doing this evening is detailing our visit opportunities. For those of you who haven't been before, Montana State University and Bozeman, Montana are two phenomenal places to spend some time. And we're going to detail some of these different experiences that we have to offer kind of through the Office of Admissions. So before I introduce our speakers for this evening, I do want to cover some of the details for this evening. So you'll see on the screen right there our technical help information. If you are seeing my lips move, but you're not hearing anything coming out of your speakers, you can call in to join us this evening. You can see that we have either a toll or a toll-free line, and then our access code is there at the bottom of that screen as well. And so if you are having any audio difficulties, please don't hesitate to dial in because you'll still be able to hear and follow along. And then at the very bottom of that screen as well, I do want to mention that we're going to be posting a recording of this session this evening to our Webinar Wednesday homepage, and we'll be doing that tomorrow. So we'll download and export the video starting first thing tomorrow morning, and then for everybody who's registered, we'll send out a link to that recording to our Webinar Wednesday homepage, which is where you can see the recording from last week's webinar, our first of the season, tonight's offering, and then opportunities to register for some of our upcoming webinars as well. My last thing on the technical side of things before I introduce our speakers this evening is I want to encourage everybody to use the Q&A feature that you might see down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screens. So we have some of our staff on hand tonight that want to help answer any questions that you all might have about a daily visit program, about our preview days, about a registration form, or anything in between. And so if you do have any questions that come up throughout the evening as our presenters are presenting, or just something that you have in your back pocket that you haven't heard before, let us know what they are, because we have a full staff on hand to help answer questions throughout the evening tonight to make sure that by the time you log off, you've received the information that you wanted to receive, whether that's through a link that we provide, an answer that we provide, or just something that you'll hear our presenters present. So, and with that, I want to introduce our presenters this evening. We have three phenomenal professionals that work here in the Office of Admissions that are going to detail some of their experiences and their offerings in terms of a campus visit opportunity. You're going to hear from our two campus visit coordinators. We have Katie Doyle and Gabe Jones. They are who run our daily visit program, and they're going to detail, kind of super detail what they have to offer and how you all can take advantage of a daily visit program at Montana State University. And then we also have our Associate Director for New Student Programs, Shannon Bangan. And our New Student Programs is what encompasses MSU Fridays. And MSU Fridays are our sporadic preview days. And again, I don't want to steal too much of the thunder from any of these presenters, but I will hand off to them. And so we are going to start by detailing our daily visit program. And so Katie and Gabe, we're going to hand the microphone over to you all, and you all can detail your visit opportunities, and then we'll go over to Shannon from there. So thank you all so much for taking this time to join us this evening. Use the Q&A feature, and we'll be able to help answer questions. And with that, you're in the hands of professionals. Katie and Gabe, take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anders. And I'm just going to start off by saying thank you all so much for attending tonight. We are really excited to be running through the daily visit program for you. We'll just start off by kind of introducing ourselves a little bit. My name is Katie.
And my name's Gabe.
And like Anders said, we are the campus visit coordinators here at the Office of Admissions. Kind of what we do day to day is we just manage our entire daily visit program. We'll work on scheduling students, working those campus tours, managing our daily Advocate tour guides, kind of your day-to-day management just of that general daily tour program. But kind of also to start, besides the whole scheduling and everything, we kind of want to break off and talk about how to schedule a visit, first of all, kind of what that form looks like and everything, and where to go to schedule a visit. So we're just going to share our screen here, and we'll kind of direct you right to our homepage at montana.edu. That is first place that you can find our visit form here. So again, like I said, this is our homepage at Montana State. This is www.montana.edu, like I said. And as you can see right on this homepage, right in that bottom left corner, you can see that blue visit button. That is the easiest way to get to our visit form. If you just click that blue visit button, that top selection right there is schedule a visit. So if you click on that, that just leads you right to that visit form right there. This is where you'll make all of those selections and everything. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. I'll just show you quickly one more way to get to that is through our admissions tab in the top. You'll go ahead and click that and then click undergraduate admissions. From there, you will see a visit opportunities tab at the top. So you'll go ahead and click that. And then as you scroll down, you can see a bunch of our different visit opportunities that we offer. We do offer quite a few different ones just in case if people can't make the trip to come. We do offer some of those virtual visits as well, some of those Saturday campus tours. But again, we'll kind of get more into that as we go on throughout the webinar here. So if you click daily visit opportunities right here, again, this lists out some of those other options for you. However, if you just click that daily visits registration form, we're back to that schedule a visit form right here. So kind of just a few things to start off with this form on how to schedule a visit. We just have a bunch of general information at the top. One of the highlights right at the top right there is that for our department meetings that are kind of listed below, we do ask that we get 2 weeks notice on those. That kind of gives you the best opportunity to go ahead and plan some of those department meetings for you. So as we're filling out this form, we're first going to start off with this visit type selection. We have 2 visit types on here listed. However, this mixed in-person virtual visit, all of those will be in person. The only reason we have mixed in-person / virtual visit is because some departments still do offer some virtual meetings. It's very few. However, if you are interested in some of those virtual meetings with departments, there are just a few for you. The 100% virtual visit, we are kind of moving towards a different method of scheduling those visits. I'll kind of touch on that in a little bit, but we actually are starting to kind of directly coordinate those ourselves on one of our different tabs that we have for virtual visits. And again, we'll get to that as we kind of go more into this webinar. So once you kind of select that you want to come visit campus in person, you'll go ahead and hit all of these student information section. You'll just list your student's name, the address. This is kind of just for data purposes, just so we can keep track and everything of how many people we're seeing and everything like that. Definitely make sure to give us a good email to send that confirmation to. Sometimes the iCloud emails in particular can be a little finicky. So just make sure we're getting some good emails for that. And then we will be able to send the correct confirmation emails there. Kind of as we go down, you'll just fill in the high school details, where your student goes to high school. And then we kind of get into the MSU details. We're talking about when they're coming into MSU. So if they'll be a freshman, if they've already applied for admission, and kind of when they plan on starting at MSU. So there's a whole selection there just to kind of get to know the student before they come visit. And then of course, we'll get more personalized with the actual visit here. So you can select which visit date you would like in this little box here. We do have visits available Monday through Friday. That excludes federal holidays, some Saturdays, weekends, and any other MSU Fridays that might be going on. However, the majority of the year we are having those visits. So you'll just go ahead and select whichever day works for you, and then select your availability, whether you want all day, morning, afternoon. It's completely up to you. We try to just schedule around whatever your availability is. And then also we'll have you type in how many people will be in your party that day. This is just kind of to get a general head count on how many tour guides we'll need, anything like that. So kind of as we scroll down here, we're getting to more of the fun stuff. This is kind of the more personalized section of planning your visit down here. So our first question up here is, would you like to meet with an academic department of your intended major or primary area of interest? So we have an entire list right here of different departments that either offer daily informational sessions or just different departments that offer those one-off meetings. So if you're really interested, say in business, you can click this Jake Jabs College of Business information session, and that will just add it to your schedule right here in that top right corner right there. So you get to kind of customize what you'd like to see while you're on campus, what's of interest to you, anything like that. And you can pick 2 of those right here as well, and it'll just add to your schedule for whatever you're interested in. We also have obviously our general campus tour that we do every day. Those are at 2 times every day. We have a 9 a.m. morning campus or a 10 a.m. morning campus tour and a 3 p.m. afternoon campus tour. So again, whatever works best for your availability, you can schedule one of those. We also have our residence hall information session. Those usually go right after our campus tours. Our campus tours actually drop off at the residence hall that those information sessions are located at. So again, those will be right after the campus tours. So the morning residence hall information session is at 11 a.m. and the afternoon residence hall information session is at 4 p.m. Just following that. And then this one is a great one to go to. This is our admissions presentation. This one is usually run by one of our admissions counselors or student ambassadors. And it's kind of just a general presentation that goes over the admissions process, scholarships, anything about MSU is basically talked about in here, any of those nitty-gritty details. It's a great way just to learn more about the school, learn more about those facts and stats that you might see on other college tours. We have usually 2 times for those as well. Those are right before our campus tours. Our morning admissions meeting is at 9 a.m. and our afternoon admissions meetings are at 2 p.m. So this is a really, really great one to go to if you kind of just want to learn a little bit more about the school. And then kind of this last box down here, these last 2 boxes, we just have some additional notes. So if you're interested in any of those departments that are not listed above, such as ROTC programs, diversity and inclusion, any of those services, you're more than welcome to just put those in the box and we will do our best at scheduling those out for you. Again, we like to have 2 weeks. That's just a general timeline that we work off of. However, we'll do our best to schedule those as well as we can within any given time range. And then of course that last box also, if you have any questions that you're interested in or anything that you'd like to ask during your admissions meeting or anything like that, you're more than welcome to just put it right in there. So that's just kind of a general run through of the admissions meeting itself. After you submit this, you get a general confirmation email that gets sent to that email at the top that you put in. It kind of just gives you a general outline of what your schedule will look like. However, 1 week before your actual visit date, you will get a final confirmation email. And that kind of gives all of the parking information, your final schedule, all of those locations, any information you need when visiting campus. So we have all of that just listed right on this form as well. I would like to note, just before we kind of move on to our other visit options, we are getting a new updated form pretty soon. It will actually be a lot easier to use as well. So once we get that new form, it'll basically be just like the same general layout with the campus tour, admissions meetings, department meetings, everything else like that. And then another quick update for our visits as well is we are also updating our housing information session. So our new residence hall information session will be in one of our dorms, the North Hedges, and that will now be showing a display room. So you'll be actually able to see kind of what those rooms look like and everything like that. So that's just kind of a few updates on what this form looks like, just in case if you do fill out this form in the next few months and you see it looks a little different, that's kind of the update for that. But just kind of moving on to, if you're not able to come visit campus, if you're not able to come in person, that is totally okay. We have a few other options for you. Like we showed earlier on the visit options page, we also have this virtual visit opportunities page. This kind of lists a few different things on here. Up here, this Explore Our Campus Now section actually takes you to our virtual tour. So we have a virtual tour that kind of goes through all of the buildings and kind of just the general look of campus. So again, if you're not able to make it in person, this is a really great tool to have. It's all like 3D rendering and everything. So you kind of still get a general feel of what it might be like to be on campus. If you kind of move down this way, we also have, if you want a virtual admissions meeting with a counselor, you can click this button and we'll be able to schedule one for you. It just gives you the general steps on how to schedule that virtual meeting right here. So this is a great one to add. Another thing that will be coming up hopefully in the near future is some of our student ambassadors. We are hoping to start a new program that they can start to do nighttime meetings. So if you are at work all day, or if your student is at school all day and you're unable to make any of those 8 to 5 times with our office, some of our student ambassadors will be able to actually start scheduling those meetings with you and be able to talk outside of those hours. Just one more thing I'll mention over here. We have this college and department information session tab right here. If you click on this, this just takes you to some of those virtual options throughout the different colleges and departments. They have different tours that you can watch actually through YouTube that are pre-recorded. So you can kind of just get a general feel if you're interested in a specific college or department, and they'll just kind of walk you through that way. So that's a really great option to have. But yeah, let's kind of move on. One of our other options, if you can't quite do our 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, we also do offer a few Saturday campus tours. We actually just came out with this schedule recently. So this is our schedule for this fall semester of Saturday campus tours. Usually these tours are a little bit different. They leave at 11 a.m. and that is the only time they go off during that day. Those are usually run by a few of our advocate tour guides, and they will just include the campus tour. They will not include any other academic sessions or anything like that. So it's just more so that general campus tour there. If you are interested in doing a general campus tour, you're more than welcome to email us one of those Saturday tours. Just email campusvisit at montana.edu, and we're more than happy to send over that that form for you. So let me see if it'll start sharing for you right here. All right. Let me share this screen. Okay, perfect. So another option, if you're not able to make any of those tours that I've listed before, we do have yet one more option for you. We have our self-guided walking tour. This is available at any time, and there's no registration required or anything like that. What you can do is you can just find this right on our website. We also have a QR code right outside of our office that leads you right to this. Our self-guided walking tour is a really great resource just for some more general information and just kind of a more general campus tour. It's very similar to our guided tour. On this website, it offers just like general information, and it offers actually accompanying audio for each tour stop, which is really, really great. So if you ever find yourself on campus on a Sunday or anything like that, and you kind of are in a pinch and would like a general self-guided walking tour, this is a great resource as well to use. So kind of all these resources that I've been talking about, again, are right on this webpage, right on montana.edu, and you can find them all through that admission section right there. Gabe, is there anything you would like to add?
I think we pretty much covered it. I just want to highlight again that the visit form will be changing in the coming weeks. We don't have an exact date yet, but just so you're aware, if it looks a little different when you go to use that, we are updating it. And then again, for the housing, we will start October 1st. We will have a showroom available for those dorm rooms. So some exciting things happening. Yeah, but I think we're going to go ahead and hand it on over to Shannon now so she can talk about our MSU Friday opportunities.
Awesome. Big thanks to Katie and Gabe there. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Bangan, and I am the Associate Director in the Office of Admissions overseeing new student programs. So that encompasses our large-scale preview days, which are called MSU Fridays, as well as orientation. So if you end up enrolling at MSU, I'll be a friendly face for you guys. I am also going to share my screen here with you, and we'll jump right in to talk a little bit more about what an MSU Friday is. We get a lot of questions about the differences between a daily campus visit and MSU Friday, and what does MSU Friday really look like. So I'm going to roll through a lot of those details for you tonight. So MSU Friday is essentially a large-scale campus preview day. So they are much larger than a daily campus visit, but with that, because it's kind of an all hands-on-deck effort, there's a lot of opportunities to connect with staff or faculty or current students in a capacity that you maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to do during a daily visit. We do host MSU Fridays on specific days, so it's not just if you come on a Friday that there will always be a program hosted, but our two coming up this fall are October 20th and November 3rd. The registration for that is already live for our fall programs, and so we already do have students and family members registering for those actively. Please note that if you're kind of planning ahead, we do post our spring dates in advance. And so you'll see that we have one hosted in January, one in February, and then two programs again in March. But the registration for those will actually not open until after our November program concludes. And so you can kind of plan ahead that if you're going to come right around spring break or something like that, you know when those are going to be hosted, but you can't yet register until we conclude our fall programs. One thing I do want to highlight is we get a lot of questions about if MSU Friday is just for the student, if they should come with the family, who's welcome, and it is really available to any and all students, both prospective as well as admitted students and their family. We really see this as an opportunity for students that are still exploring MSU to learn so much about our campus, but at the same time, if you have really specific questions or sessions that you want to attend, we have those available as well. So we have students all the way from students that are sophomores just looking to explore colleges, all the way through to seniors that have been admitted, who have been offered scholarships, who applied for housing and are making final decisions. It's really for everyone. When it comes to a few more details, these programs range in size, so anywhere from 600 to 1,200 people. They are large-scale events, but we don't lose that personalized experience by offering a big program. We have a schedule that I'm going to review in just a moment, and with that, it's essentially pick and choose. You can kind of think of it like a conference where you're going through and you're choosing the sessions that you want to learn about, and so you can personalize it based on your own interests, habits, hobbies. Just because it's a large program does not mean that you don't get the opportunity to connect with folks on campus. This really is an all hands on deck effort. And so with that, there are so many different faculty members and staff that are available to assist you throughout the entire day, and you'll definitely get all of the answers to your questions. There is a sample schedule that is online to reference, and I'm also going to review a schedule from a past program as well here in just a moment to kind of walk you through what that looks like so you can have a better idea of what sessions are available. I will mention that it includes everything from a variety of sample classes, info sessions, campus tours, facility tours, student panels. It's a lot going on at once, which is really exciting. And so with these days comes a lot of really good energy and excitement because all of our students and family members are just taking in so much information, connecting with folks on campus, and kind of getting a feel of what it's like to imagine MSU as your next home. So at this time, I am going to review a sample schedule. I will mention that this is a pretty detailed schedule because it's an example from this last spring. A kind of loose sample schedule is available online to reference if you would like to refer back to that as well. And please know that this is, of course, a sample schedule of a past event, so it's not going to look exactly the same if you were to come this fall or next spring, but this kind of gives you a general idea of what to expect. So you'll see here on the screen, this is the schedule from March of last year. We have check-in bright and early in the morning, so we do encourage folks to plan ahead in terms of accommodation. So you can either come in the night before or drive in the morning of. With that, check-in is pretty early and we do kick off sessions, but the first big ticket item isn't until 9 o'clock with our welcome. So you have a little bit of time there to plan accordingly. So we do have campus tours throughout the morning that are hosted by our student tour guides, our advocates, and they walk you around, and that it is an outdoor walking tour. So we encourage students and family members to plan accordingly, especially in those winter months, because you might be on an outdoor tour for about 45 minutes. We do have our large welcome at 9 o'clock, and that's everyone together. And then we break off into information sessions. And so these will begin to vary based on the schedule and based on what we're hosting that day. And so MSU Basics is kind of a staple session that's going to be hosted by our admissions counselors, and it's where you can learn about all the things you need to know about MSU, including the application process, scholarships, important dates and deadlines, and more. We always host a session with the Allen Yarnell Center for Student Success. We have the Honors College information session, and as you can see, we do offer campus tours throughout the entire duration of the program as well. So this is an example where you'll see here from 9:45 to 10:30, there's about 4 different things happening, and you can pick and choose based on what you're most interested in, what you would like to attend. From 10:40 to 11:15, and then from 11:25 to 12 o'clock, you'll see that we had 2 different Explore academic blocks. We always build in opportunities for students to connect with staff and faculty from various areas of study. We have 8 different colleges here on campus, and so we break those up where we have 4 colleges in the first block and 4 colleges in the second block. And so if students are interested in, let's say, health sciences, in the first block, they might attend the pre-med session or maybe attend the letters in science session to hear more about chemistry or physics. In the second session, you could hear about the College of Nursing or Health and Human Development. So you can kind of pick and choose. If you aren't interested in either of those sessions, we do have what's called University Studies, which is our undeclared option for students that are still deciding exactly what they might want to major in. And then we host those MSU Basics sessions again throughout the day, so you can listen to one of those if you have already heard from an Explore Academics college. From there, we do have a variety of different lunch options. I will mention that MSU Friday is completely free to participate in, but we do have family members and students pay for their own lunch or bring their lunch with them. And so we highlight a variety of those options while they're here on campus. Campus tours are again offered throughout the entire duration of the program. And then you'll notice that the afternoon really kicks off kind of interest groups or information sessions that highlight a variety of different organizations and services. So for last March, for example, from 12:15 to 12:35, we had Army ROTC and Air Force ROTC. We had National Student Exchange, TRIO and Gear Up, as well as a Fraternity and Sorority Life panel and an aviation info session. So a variety to choose from there over the lunch hour. And then in the afternoon, we have a variety of sessions that highlighted things like undergraduate research, study abroad. We have a variety of different sample classes. So a couple that we hosted in March were for hospitality management, land resources, and environmental sciences. We had a business session there in the afternoon. So a ton to take advantage of. We also host sessions then on disability services, diversity, equity, and inclusion, health and well-being, musical ensembles. You can see that there's a whole bunch that we host throughout these days. One that I do want to highlight that we actually offer twice is called Financing Your Education. And that's hosted with our financial aid office, our financial education office, and our admission staff. And that session allows students to understand all the different opportunities for affording a college education. It covers everything from scholarships through to FAFSA, through to payment plans, ongoing scholarship opportunities, and more. And then as you can see, as we rounded out the afternoon, we hosted a variety of info sessions, things like pre-law, a student panel, our outdoor rec program hosted a session. From 2:45 to 3:25, we hosted Living on Campus. Again, that is a session that's kind of a staple session that we will always host. It is hosted with our university catering and culinary services and our university student housing office. And so they talk a little bit more about living on campus, what that looks like, meal plans, housing options, all the details there. And then in the afternoon, we will always host facility tours. So you'll notice in the afternoon there in March, we hosted facility tours for the School of Architecture, Art, Film and Photo, Music, our College of Engineering. And so those are specific departments that will take students through very specific labs or spaces. Our campus tours do take you through a variety of different facilities on campus. So you definitely still get to see a lot of campus throughout these days, but those are really specific tours based on like a studio space or a lab space or something like that. So as you can see, it's a really robust schedule that offers a ton of different opportunities. The things that I always like to highlight, we do have check-in pretty early. And so depending on where you're coming in, we might have you come in the night before, you might be staying in Bozeman for the weekend, or you might just want to drive over the morning of, and that's totally okay too. You can kind of plan to check in pretty early from 7:30 to 9 to kick off your morning and make the most of your day and your time here in Bozeman. We do have a lodging and suggestions and travel page. There are some opportunities here specifically for MSU Friday. We highlight a few different partnerships that we have with local hotels during those days, but there are also a lot of hotels that are listed on there that offer just a discount throughout the entire year to folks that are visiting the MSU campus. So whether you're coming for a daily visit or an MSU Friday, this is a really great URL to save or bookmark so you can refer back to it when you're making your travel plans. Parking is provided, so it's free to park on campus throughout MSU Friday. We send out information in advance about a parking map, where you're supposed to go. There is signage out, and then you essentially get a parking credential, and you can print that out in advance. We also have extras at check-in, and you'll put that in your dash on your car, which allows our parking services folks to know that you're here on campus visiting and that you're part of the program, so you don't have to pay for the duration of the program. There are a few meal options to choose from. We do have students and family members that take advantage of our different options in the Student Union building. They might walk to a couple different local options that are right across the street from campus. You might want to eat here in a dining hall. You might want to grab and go option from our coffee shop. And so there are a few different things for you to check out. Throughout the entire program, we have an information table that is stationed kind of centrally to the program. And so there's a lot of recommendations that we will be handing out there, writing down for folks, so you can kind of check out a few different meal options. We do have sessions throughout the MSU Fridays that are kind of staple sessions, as I mentioned. Those are things like our Explore Academics or campus tours, financing your education, living on campus. Those are sessions that we're going to offer every single MSU Friday because they're just so important and they cover the information that we get the most frequent questions about. With that being said, there are going to be some sessions that rotate, so I can't guarantee that there's going to be a very specific sample class or a very specific session that is available. But as you can see, we have a really robust schedule at these events, so majority of the time your questions do get answered, but I'm always happy to answer those questions as we get closer to an actual event as well. There are a variety of different opportunities to connect with staff, faculty, and current students. That's the biggest piece of feedback that we get from MSU Fridays, that students and family really enjoy connecting with the folks here on campus, and that it's a really special opportunity to get to know a department head who's giving you a tour or talk to a current student who's in a major that you're considering. And so that's really what we love about these large scale events, is that everyone's centralized there to support you in your college search. And again, I do want to highlight that it's open to prospective students as well as admitted students and their family. It doesn't matter whether you are just exploring college for the very first time, whether you applied yesterday, or whether you are fully committed to MSU. This is a great program for all, and an opportunity for you to come and meet some of these folks that are going to help you through that transition. Okay, so I'm not going to walk you through the registration form because it is really, really quick and simple, but the things to bring with you in preparation for registering is just your personal information. We ask you about your term of entry. So are you an incoming freshman or transfer student, and when are you planning on enrolling at MSU? It allows you to put in your interests when you fill out that form and more. Again, it is completely free. And so when you fill that out, it's not like you need a credit card or anything like that. You can kind of plan for some of those costs that you might have in terms of travel or meals. But outside of that, the program itself is completely free for you to go in and register for. In terms of our countdown to our MSU Friday events, once you fill out the registration form, you will receive an automatic email that gets sent to the email that you inputted on the form. So make sure, again, that you double check that email and that it's the email that you're actively checking. Occasionally, some of those confirmation emails can end up in a spam folder or a promotions folder or something like that. So unfortunately, we encourage you to check those places first in case you didn't get it, just because they can end up in the wrong place. But if you don't get that information, please let us know, and we're happy to send you a confirmation again. When you go in and you book that MSU Friday, like I said, you'll get a confirmation email, but then that also allows us to go in and process your registration as someone who's planning on attending, and we will start to send you countdown series of emails. So you'll get an email 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, the Wednesday prior, and occasionally a text if you also sign up for those notifications. And so it's a really great way to kind of stay on top of your visit. In those emails, we also include for you some recommendations when it comes to accommodations and planning travel, but we do recommend that you think about some of those items in advance, especially depending on what time of year you're visiting. Our town can get really busy when it comes to summer or ski season or visiting Yellowstone or something like that. And so the earlier you plan for some of those items, the better. And then on the day of, we recommend bringing good walking shoes and appropriate outdoor gear, especially for those walking campus tours, a water bottle, a pen, anything else that's going to make you feel comfortable and confident in your visit. Please bring those items along. The things that you can anticipate getting at check-in include the schedule. We'll give you a packet of information, a campus map, all of that good stuff. And we also have coffee and donuts waiting for you in the morning as well. So when you arrive, we'll get you all squared away. Okay, at this time, I know we've covered a lot of information, both about our daily campus visits as well as MSU Friday. I am going to ask that Katie and Gabe kind of join me again on the screen here, and we're going to go through some of our most frequently asked questions and kind of ping pong back and forth. With that, I also invite you to chat in any questions if you haven't already to that Q&A feature. We're going to be answering your questions live here in just a moment, but these are going to be the most frequent ones that we want to kind of get out of the way because we know that we always get these questions. So to start, what are the main differences between MSU Friday and your daily visit options? I can take this one. With the daily visit options, that's a really personalized experience just for you, and those are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and those occasional virtual options or Saturday options. MSU Friday is a really great opportunity if you're looking to plan ahead and get a lot out of your visit, all consolidated into one day. It's fast paced, it's exciting, and again, it's kind of unique in that there are certain sessions or tours that are only available on those days as opposed to our daily visits. So kind of some things to weigh. Sometimes it's a really great opportunity for students and families to have a more personalized, kind of shorter visit throughout the day. Sometimes they really love that large scale program. So that's something to kind of discuss with your family. Katie and Gabe, can you talk and highlight again those options on the weekends? Do we host daily visits or tours on things outside of Monday through Friday?
Yeah, so we have certain Saturdays are open. Like we already talked about, we have a page, just the Saturday Campus Tours page on the website. And on that page, it lists all of the available dates. So right now we have our dates that are available for the fall semester. And then our spring semester, those dates will become available probably in January or early February. Then we'll have those dates as soon as the students are back, because it is our students who do the tours, our Advocat tour guides. So it just depends on when they're available and how many we have. Just depending on which days we are able to offer. But we do offer some Saturday tours, and those ones are always at 11 o'clock on Saturdays as well. And unfortunately, a lot of the buildings on campus are closed, so we're not able to add any additional programming on the weekends just due to campus being closed. But we do still offer those outdoor campus tours.
Awesome, thank you. How can I expect to receive a confirmation? What information is provided leading up to your visit? I can speak a little bit on the MSU Friday side, and then Katie and Gabe can touch on the daily visits. But as I mentioned, we have a countdown series for MSU Friday in particular. And so you will receive a email leading up to your event. And then with that, there's also information in there about accommodations, discounts, parking, what to plan for, what to know, where to check in. All of those details are included there for you as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so kind of on terms of daily visits, kind of like I said before, you'll be expected to receive a final confirmation email 1 week prior to your visit date. Again, this email kind of goes over all of those parking details, instructions of how to get to campus, how to get to our office. Usually you'll be checking in our office. So kind of all the details regarding that. We also do send out text messages 2 days prior to your visit as well. With the amount of construction we've had on campus lately, we are sending really important parking information in those emails and in those texts. So those are a great thing to check as well prior to your visit.
Awesome. And maybe you guys can field this next one as well. Can I meet with someone virtually?
Yeah, so we touched on this a little bit, but yes, definitely you can meet with someone virtually. Typically, our virtual visits our admissions counselors can hold those. We mentioned our student ambassadors soon will be able to host virtual meetings after hours, so like between 5 and 8, and we'll post that information onto the website as soon as it becomes available. And then some of the departments are available for virtual meetings, but not all of them. So if you have a department or a major or something in mind that you want to meet with, feel free to email us that question as well, and we'd be happy to try to get something scheduled for you.
Awesome. So for this next one, where do we park and where do we meet for our visit? For both MSU Friday as well as our daily visits, we are located in the Strand Union Building, which is our student union building. That's where you can check in. For our daily visits, as well as MSU Friday, you receive separate parking information, so make sure to check in there and check your email. With that being said, majority of the time for our daily visits, you are going to be parking in our parking garage, and we send you a code in advance, versus MSU Friday, you get that parking credential. So either way, you're headed towards the Strand Union or the Student Union Building, and you get some parking information in those confirmation emails as well. Do you have a set capacity for MSU Friday and daily visits? This is one item that I forgot to mention, so I'm glad I was smart enough to think ahead and put it in the questions, but we do have a limited capacity for MSU Friday. We capped those at around 1,100 visitors, and so it's not 1,100 students, but 1,100 in total. And so with that, by registering in advance, you're kind of guaranteeing your spot or guaranteeing your seat as part of the program. If you do need to cancel, or if you've registered and you want to change your date, please reach out to us in advance so we can always kind of keep track of our space for those programs. So yes, please register in advance. We do typically reach capacity specifically for our October program and November program, as well as our March programs, because those typically align with spring breaks in high school. And so if you're really looking at those dates in particular, I would always say to register in advance so you know that you have a spot. Katie and Gabe, do you want to touch a little bit on daily visits and capacity there?
Yeah. So we actually don't have a set capacity anymore. So you are feel free to bring your family members, anyone who else wants to join the visit as well. We do also ask just for cancellations and everything a little bit ahead of time, just in case if you do have any of those department meetings, just so we can go ahead and let faculty know that you will no longer be making it. And we also would just like to keep track of space and the amount of tour guides we use as well. But otherwise, no, we really don't have a limited capacity or anything like that.
Awesome. We both just kind of touched on this individually here, but if you need to change the date for either an MSU Friday session or a daily visit, the easiest way is just reaching out to us directly. We're happy to do it over email or over phone, whichever is most convenient for you. But you don't have to necessarily go back in and like register for a different day or something like that. Gabe and Katie can move that session as well as I can. So if you just reach out to us, we can reschedule you and get you squared away as long as there is capacity in that said MSU Friday program or daily visit. Are there recommended hotels or lodging for when I visit MSU? Yes, as I mentioned, there is a web page. You can definitely check that out. It is by no means all encompassing of every lodging option here in Bozeman. And so we encourage you to do your own research and talk to family and friends and reserve things in advance because as I mentioned, things can get busy here in Bozeman, but there is a web page that you can reference that has specific days and discounts for you to check out. Katie and Gabe, do you want to touch a little bit on how students and family members can receive a schedule in advance?
Yeah, so like we kind of mentioned, so when you're making your schedule, you'll kind of see as you're selecting things what time different sessions are at. But depending on what you select, if you want to meet with a certain department or something, those times could change. So the schedules, we typically send those 1 week prior to your tour time. But if you need it before that, we recommend just emailing us directly and then we can send it to you kind of manually. But sometimes if you are meeting with a department, we may not know that information like 2 months ahead of time. So just kind of be aware. It depends on what you select, who you're meeting with, what those sessions are that you signed up for. So that will kind of just depend on whether we have a set schedule right away or if it may take us a few days to kind of get that set.
Awesome. And I do get this question a lot for MSU Friday. We don't send schedules in advance for MSU Friday, but you can see those sample schedules online so you kind of know exactly what you're registering for. If you have specific questions about the program, we're happy to answer those. Otherwise, when you check in at MSU Friday, you get that full schedule of events. And again, everything is kind of pick and choose based on your own interests from there. And then finally, what is the difference between MSU Friday and orientation? So we do have orientation, which is for our incoming freshman students, and that's required, and that takes place over the summer in preparation to a student enrolling at MSU. So please plan accordingly that if you're visiting campus, you are also going to be planning on coming back over the course of the summer to then enroll at MSU, get your class schedule, meet other incoming Bobcats. So we do get a lot of questions about if I attend an MSU Friday, do I still come to orientation or vice versa? They actually cover different aspects of being a Bobcat. MSU Friday is a little bit more the recruitment side versus orientation is really helping you transition to life here at MSU. And so you can kind of plan ahead knowing that over the course of June, July, and August, we will have those in-person programs that are required for students to then join us here on campus. And very lastly, at this time, we are going to move to a live Q&A, so chat in those questions as we go. Anders is going to help us facilitate that. Before we do that, though, I do want to just highlight here on the screen, I have included all of our personal contact information, the Office of Admissions main line, as well as those 3 big visit pages that we've highlighted. And so this is a really nice page if you're looking to return to some of the information that we've been referencing throughout the program. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and so Anders can help us kind of facilitate if we've gotten a lot of questions throughout the webinar.
Yeah, first off, thank you to the 3 of you for taking some time to do this in detail in this process. And for everybody logging in, I apologize for any technical difficulties that might have been having with your login information. We're going to make sure that you all get the recording tomorrow. So if you had to join a little bit late, we'll make sure that we get you all the information and do accept our apologies for that. On the front of some of the questions that came up, I really liked some of the things that were asked, and Shannon, you just kind of talked about one of these. When is the best time for a student to come and visit campus if they haven't ever been to Bozeman before? And I want to throw that last little bit on there because Bozeman is what it is and we are where we are. So just for the 3 of you, I wonder if you have any insight into, if you were to come and visit Bozeman, Montana and Montana State, when would you aim to do that?
I can kind of jump in, and then maybe if these guys have any follow-up tips or tricks. I would definitely say I think it depends on the student, and I know that that's probably a generic answer, but I think it depends on what the student and family is hoping to get out of their visit. If you're really looking to make it a vacation and a weekend and check out so many different things, I would kind of plan that based on what you're hoping to do. A lot of families might come and visit Yellowstone, or might plan a ski trip, or might want to check out different aspects of town. And so sometimes it's really helpful for families to come in the winter and see what that weather is like. And so I think it depends on what the student and family is trying to get out of their visit. For me personally, my favorite time of year is spring headed into summer. I think that's a really nice chance when students have spring break and they're making their final decisions. With that being said, if you're a little bit more comfortable coming earlier, you could always hit up a football game or come for homecoming or one of our fun weekends here in the fall to help kind of inform that decision a little bit earlier. So I think there are a few options depending on how you want to kind of plan. But I'm not sure if Katie and Gabe have anything to add there.
Yeah, I'll just add something a little bit more generic, I guess. I always get a lot of comments on people just coming to visit when students are around in general. It just really sets the tone for the campus as opposed to visiting in the summer. It's a little bit quieter. But when you do visit when those students are around, you get to kind of see the campus a little bit, have a little bit more life to it, I guess. And it's just a really good time to see it that way, just to kind of envision yourself of what it would be like to come here.
Cool. Right on. This is a question that I really appreciated. So the question is, I'm new to the college search process. What are some important things to consider or pay attention to when I'm visiting college campuses? And so that's not an MSU specific thing. That's just college search in general. Any advice that y'all have on that?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple things that I would pay attention to. One, obviously, is the programs offered at the college. You definitely want to, I think the department meetings are really helpful. You can get some information on kind of what your program is going to look like for the next 4 years. And our faculty and staff here are really good at kind of painting that picture for you. Like, this is kind of the class schedule you're going to take. This is kind of what your life could look like for the next 4 years. And then another thing I would just kind of watch for is what kind of community you want to be around. You are going to be living in this place for 4 years. And so you definitely want to feel like at home, comfortable, and like you can interact with the community and with the school. You definitely want to make sure there's like programs offered that you can get involved with and really like immerse yourself in the experience.
Very cool. Let's see. Now this one is MSU and Bozeman specific. Is there any must-see or must-dos if I'm coming to Bozeman, Montana for the first time?
I do think it depends on the season. I want to echo what Gabe just said though about the sense of community and the things to check out. And so if there are must-sees or must-dos specific to MSU and our campus, I think it's always really fun to visit during a specific event or a time. So if you're coming, you can check out a football game or check out some of the different traditions or things that we have here on campus. That's always really, I think, a really easy way to get a sense of that community and get a sense of belonging through your visit as well. In terms of must-sees or must-dos, we are a big ski town. So if you ever want to come during the winter, we do offer some discounted ski passes as well. So stop into our office and you can check out Bridger Bowl. It's definitely kind of like a fun local hill. There's a sense of culture and vibe up there too. So I think that gives a really good fun kind of weekend activity for your visit as well, especially if you're coming in the winter months. But Katie and Gabe might have their opinions as well.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of questions just about the downtown area in general. A lot of really great local shops, local stores, clothing, coffee, you name it, it's down there. You gotta just get a sense of what Bozeman is, just kind of more local vendors down there. Yeah, and it's just a really great way. I know we've been kind of saying it a lot, but just to get to know the community a little bit more and to see all of those local vendors come together and everything. And that's definitely a really big one that visitors love to see when they're here for sure.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to tie this in with everything that you all are saying. I'm going to tie it into a question that was just thrown into the Q&A, talking about our safety, both on campus and off. And I think the sense of community that's just been spoken about really is indicative of the place that we get to call home. As with any college town, if you ever hear that a college town and its community doesn't have any crime, that's not the truth. And I don't want to shy away from that. But what I think you will find is that as a student here, or as a parent of a potential student here, you are sending your student to a community that people who have nothing to do with Montana State University are truly invested in the experience, the success, and the well-being of the students at Montana State University. I know it was thrown in the chat is our annual safety and security report, something that we're actually very proud of at Montana State University, to the point that we bind and print it every single year. But that sense of community, I think, is really something that's shared amongst students and people in Bozeman that again, don't have anything to do with Montana State. It's a gravitational pull of kind of positivity that's here, that I think people look out for one another. I think they support one another. And I think that goes a long way in terms of a student coming from, like Shannon mentioned earlier, she's from Missoula, Montana. Katie mentioned earlier, she's from Rochester, New York. You can have these people who come from wildly different places, but they have that shared experience of that sense of home, which I think is kind of cool. So let's see, we only got time for a couple more. So if you bear with me here real quick. Katie and Gabe, you talked about this earlier, and I know it kind of varies on what people are asking. How far in advance should I try and book my visit if I'm filling out that visit request form?
Yeah, so we recommend at least 2 weeks, just to give us enough time. If you do want to meet with the department, we need to allow time to get connected with that department, and kind of sometimes we have to arrange a few different things to make that happen. So we recommend at least 2 weeks. I think right now our visit form is open just sort of to any time. Mm-hmm. I think maybe when we start the new form, we might only be open 3 or 4 months ahead of time. I will caution with travel, especially in the winter. Just be aware that, you might have flight delays and things like that. So if your flight gets in the morning of your tour, just be aware that sometimes those could change. But I think, yeah, just as long as it's at least 2 weeks out, we should be able to make it happen for you.
Cool. And then Shannon, I think you have a unique perspective on this. For anyone, many of you probably who don't know, Shannon used to be one of our admissions counselors who welcomed and greeted and met with our daily campus visitors every single day. Now she oversees the MSU Friday program. But I think all three of you will have some insight on this. What are some benefits and differences of attending an MSU Friday as opposed to our daily visit program?
Yeah. Again, I can't stress enough that I think MSU Friday is just like an all hands on deck effort. I keep using that term, but it is truly one of my very favorite days of the year because it's my opportunity to connect with catering staff and advisors from different areas of study and folks from different departments and custodians. And it takes everyone to host these really large events. And so I think the benefits are that everyone's really there to help those visitors throughout the day. They're walking around answering questions, they're chatting people and directing them to different, parking lots or directing them to lunch. And so I think the really nice thing about those days is that they're really fast paced. You get a lot of information. It's all jammed into one day. And so there are some unique opportunities, such as like student panels or sample classes that are not available maybe during a daily visit that you can take advantage of during an MSU Friday. With a daily visit, it is a little bit more of a personalized experience, especially if you have really, really, really specific questions. That might be a little bit more of an opportunity for you to sit down with someone in a specific department one-on-one, or sit down with an admissions counselor and ask those questions. But if you're just really looking for a lot of information and getting a lot of things done at once, I think those MSU Fridays kind of balance that in a lot of ways too. You lose the personalized aspect of those big days through those programs, I suppose.
Nice. Well, for everybody who's tuned in and joined us and hung out for the evening, again, thank you so much. We started by thanking you for your time this evening. We're going to wrap up the same way. We've now gone around the circle. We've reached at the top of the hour again. I do want to, again, apologize for any technical difficulties that anyone was running into. Not sure what was going on there, but we will be exporting this recording. And so if you had to join late, we'll make sure that you get caught up with all of the information. And we're here to help answer questions. Admissions@montana.edu, 406-994-2452, or 1-888-MSU-CATS. Please reach out to us. If you're looking to set up a campus visit, or if you're just looking to hear something more about Montana State University that's going to inspire you to set up a campus visit or attend an MSU Friday, just to explore that university experience that we have to offer a little bit more, let us know how we can help, because we're more than happy to. So with that, we're going to sign off. Thank you all so much for your time. And as always, go Bobcats. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.